Welcome to another episode of Environmental Social Justice. Today we are talking about fast fashion, and we have one of our favorite returning guests today, Miss Olivia Igwe, all the way from London. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting. I'm so excited to get back on this. I just left you a couple of weeks ago.
I know, but we loved having you because you are effervescent. If there's any way to describe you, it's effervescent, bubbly, it's charming. And you also know what you're talking about with respect to quite a few topics, but today's topic being fast fashion. And actually, Joel requested this one because we talked a lot about the damage of fast fashion, overconsumption, and the financially supporting the people doing that damage. So, Joel, I'm going to let you ask the first question since this was your wheelhouse.
So we were talking about this before. First of all, I'm super excited to have you back. But before we started recording this episode, we were talking and having slight debate amongst the three of us about
shocking.
How long should clothing last? So Olivia, you have a background in styling and all this kind of stuff. So when you were doing that, what were you looking for pieces for people?
Well, yeah, first of all, I was looking for pieces that you can reuse and reuse. Because I just believe styling, it evolves over time. But what I love is you can reuse it for different events, for different moments that will show a personality or an emotion at that time and will have you feel confident. And so that's my whole goal when you try your pieces, that you feel comfortable. What I have a hard time with is I will also I know we were talking offline, but this piece of jumper that I got at H&M, let's get the brands out. And it's already I've only had it since Christmas, and we are January, February, March, April. Well, 4 months in, and I've washed it a couple of times, and I more or less take care of my clothes. But I'm it's a lovely color, but it's starting to shed off, and I'm why?
Yeah.
I know it costs $9, but can we do a bit more effort? And that's what bothers me most.
We were talking about a sweater that I had, a polo neck sweater, or sorry, not polo neck, collared. And I had it for 3 years. It was H&M. I loved this sweater. I took care of it. I would wash it. I would lay it flat to dry. And after 3 years, it just disintegrated, fell apart. I had to finally get rid of it. And Joel was saying that's a long time to own a piece of clothing. To me, that's not. When I was a kid, I would hold on to pants for 20 years. I would literally bust out of the seams because I got too big for them. That is long-term to me.
I'm sorry. It really does depend upon, we're talking today a lot about fast fashion. So, the reason that we wanted to bring this, obviously we've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but Olivia, I remember in the last time, I think we've gone offline already, we're still having our chat, and you had brought up a coat that you had bought, that you had for years. And so I think that, the biggest thing for me on fast fashion is, one, we don't view clothing as investment pieces anymore. I think our shopping has changed drastically. And I think it's a generational thing where people are so used to going on to, I need it delivered that day or the day after. I need my 24-hour turnaround. I don't care about the quality of it. I know I'm going to get rid of it. If it lasts me 3 to 4 months, I'm very excited by it. And I don't think we're really looking at what the long-term implications are, where our landfills are going to be filled with polyester that's not going to be able to break down. The working conditions that people are in to create these items, not only that, but the working conditions of people who are delivering them. So, it's this whole chain that's happening.
And where the materials originated from, and where they're put together, and where they're manufactured, and then where they're finished, and then there were stuff. It's chain reaction.
So I think the fast fashion thing is kind of a very interesting subject because we don't think about it very much. And we don't, like I said, we've gotten so used to pieces that are just, you change your wardrobe every few months versus investing in quality pieces that are a foundation. Yes, fast fashion has always been around. It always will be around, but it should be more like an accessory to kind of bring in new things on occasion versus saying, I need to change my wardrobe every few months. Either it's trend or because it's just fallen apart. The expense to do that is ridiculous on people.
It's so expensive. And I was having this conversation with my sister because she's like, I just don't understand how you do it, Olivia. You work, you're always showing up, and she was saying, I just have a hard time because I'm always buying new clothes for my son. And I'm like, you gotta stop it. He's gonna grow out of it. If you have another child, reuse the pieces. even though if it's a boy or girl, I'll probably just add, like, if the child is a boy and then I get a girl, I'll be like, you're wearing your brother's clothes. Like, we're keeping it.
Right.
But it's the fact that it's because in culture, and if they follow the, you guys were twinning on drinking at that time.
I caught that as well.
I also think it's trends of what other influencers are also doing.
Yes.
And that has a big effect. Like, if they said, go and throw yourself under a bridge because you're going to lose weight, they probably would do that. And I think that's just such a big misconception.
Right.
And I think when we talk about fast fashion, it's like looking like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about being individual, like, why is it that I only have one earring when this is a piece from my sister-in-law? And because I just couldn't find the other one. But this brings individuality. Why do you only have one? Somebody, I think on TikTok, wrote, like, why do you only have one? Well, because I just can't find the other one. So people just don't understand and don't think.
Yeah.
Because if I follow everybody else, then I'm part of everybody else and I feel seen.
And it's also, I think, coming down to, I mean, we have to talk about just the economics of it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, to try to go out there and buy, we watch all those shows like, What Not to Wear and all those different things where they're giving people makeovers, blah, 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 blah. And like, okay, here's $10,000. We're going to do a whole new wardrobe. Most people don't have that kind of money sitting around. So trying to figure out a way that they can do it. So the thought of when you look at spending, $100 to $200 on a pair of jeans, I ain't never doing that.
No.
A few $100s on a jacket, it adds up fast. And when you're trying, you're in the world of inflation, you're in the world of wages that are finally going up, but not at a right pace, let's be honest. So how do people afford to invest?
Yeah.
So you start looking at those price points, and then everything, don't get me on buying stuff that has a logo on it. I've never understood that. That one, I'm just like, why am I going to
community? Why does 𝑗 Abloh, or at the time, rest in peace, his amazing soul, but why was it that he managed to create such a community? Is because he was the only first Black designer in a massive big brand, and so people will fall for. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm in fashion. I love it. I love unique pieces that you can't get anywhere else. But at the same time, I'm not about to spend a t-shirt that it costs, $1,000 tank top that I could get on ASOS, that I'm going to wear, and it still looks cool. So yeah, it's community, definitely.
But for me, it's like when I see the labels everywhere, that's where I'm just like going, why are you spending hundreds of dollars to be a walking billboard?
Showing off.
But honestly, that's what I look at. It's like, I see things, like everybody's got the Louis Vuitton or the Yves Saint Laurent or the Gucci, and more power to you. I get that they're great brands, blah, 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 blah. But you're a walking billboard. And it's a personal thing. It's just, I don't like clothes with logos on it. It's because I'm like, why am I going to spend $40, $50, $75 on a t-shirt just to say like, hey, look, I spent $75 on this name brand. Like,
do you know that we have the same t-shirt?
Right? And so, but I understand there's also a quality thing here, and it's nothing against any of the brands. People do what they want to do. It's your choices. But I think it's also about keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes.
And so, but then you've also got the knockoffs, and you've got all this stuff that people spend in, and it's like, again, they're not the quality product. So it's this whole mentality of how do you keep up with people without screwing the environment at the same time and your wallet.
Well, we have to teach people that you don't have to have as much stuff as you think you need.
Yeah.
I mean,
more materialistic.
I fully admit, when I lived in New York, I was the biggest label whore you ever met in your life. I scoured the discount shops. I loved everything I bought.
Yeah, but you were in an environment that was addictive.
Yeah, I had all the discount shops around me. It was
right. And so I think it goes down to who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you watching? Who are you like wanting to do? Like, if you're watching Kim Kardashian, then automatically you're going to want to get that contour, or you're going to want to put that much makeup on. So it also is the influence of others that will ripple into that, and your upbringing at the same time. My family were born under the same home, but we have different personalities, and I know that I know where I'm heading as the eldest one, but I still have to tell my sister, who is influenced by others, that I have to pour a little bit more into her, if that makes sense. On the reason why fashion are making it so good is because also every 2 weeks in Zara, there's no piece. So there's
Yeah.
also the fact of I won't buy, like there was a trend, and I don't know if you guys probably have seen or not, but there was a cargo, there's the stylist, designer, or no, she must be a stylist. And she wore these cargo pants that you could buy in Zara, and she put them in different outfits. And everybody, I was looking at the comments, like that's one thing women look at, it's just all the comments. And I was scrolling down to see the comments, and everybody was like, where can I get this? Where can I get this? Where can I get the cargo pants? And they were sort of elephant pants, but military sort of style, really nice. Like you really elongates your style. Everybody wanted it, but it was sold out in Zara. You can't get it. Once you can't get a piece, you can't get a piece. But in every video she posted, which was literally 7-8 different pieces of content with the same cargo pants, people were going ballistics.
But you know, I think that's kind of important for people to see as well. And I think your stylist background, it kind of can help with this as well. It's like, it's okay to do a piece from a fast fashion brand. It's okay. But how do you make it last? And how do you not try to, you know, and I think that's important for people to see, is that like, yes, it's fast fashion, but look what you can do with it. And if you take care of it, how long is it going to last? But again, it comes down to the trend and trying to keep up with the Joneses. So what are your thoughts on people when they're trying to, or when it comes to fast fashion versus heritage pieces or things like that? Like, how do you find that for people? Like, how do you blend those two together and instruct people with that, or help people?
That's awesome question, because it goes down to your wardrobe, understanding, okay, what do I have in my wardrobe that I need to alter? What do I need to know that, what is it, for example, that I don't have, like that little black dress that I don't have, or that jacket. I generally go for pieces that you can't use all the time. So jackets, because, or trench coats, you're not necessarily going to walk all the day around with it.
All the time.
Right, like you're not gonna walk around your home, but like I'm not looking for like the tank tops or whatever, but it will be maybe like trousers, sneakers, dress, or jackets, that I really tend to pivot on, because a woman wearing a nice pair of high heels and she knows how to walk in them, game changer. Although I know some people don't need, so I probably need to show people how to walk in high heels.
But older and simply cannot anymore. I tried putting on heels recently. It hurt too much.
It doesn't. I have them, but I just can't get rid of them. It's just it's an addiction. I mean, when I wear with them, because I'm really tall with them. Anyways, so jackets. And then how do you find those pieces? I go generally to see so Etsy is a really nice place. ASOS from time to time. I like 𝑤𝒉𝒂𝒎𝒊𝒏𝒈, which is an African brand, African platform where they have African brands. So it's mainly independent designers that put it. There's also another one that I absolutely love, and the name No Label or NoLabel.com or something like that. Those are designer pieces. So people that came out of fashion schools haven't really found a job or whatever, and so they promote their brands, or also they promote them there. So artists like Beyonce or Lady Gaga would like, to wear their pieces. Those are where like I put everybody else. Now, it is a budget, it is a spending cap, but I always say, hey, look, how can we reverse engineer? How can we see from what you're earning? How can we get that piece if you like it? And then work towards your goals in getting that piece. Because psychologically, when you get that piece and you wear it, you're like a superwoman wearing a superwoman cap, right?
Absolutely.
And it just that's how I really always go for it. Now, I won't lie, I had a client, she emceed an event, and it was tough to find pieces for her, because even high brands like Karen Millen, or is it Ted Baker, the way they cut the pieces, even though here in the UK they're still middle high end, I'm like, it is revolting.
Are you not allowed to have hips? Is that still a thing?
Men can't have thighs. I have thighs.
Yeah, no, we got wait for a couple of skirts, but it's just even the pieces that you buy now. If you think you're a size 38 UK or European French size, you have to buy size 40, because they want you to think that you have to buy something bigger. So
it's the opposite in the US, They do
really?
vanity sizing. They do vanity sizing in the US. So about every 10 years, they kind of, a size 6 was really what a size 8 was. But you're like, oh, now I wear a size 6 to 8.
Okay.
I am in no way a size 6 to an 8. If we went back to 1988, it would be like a 12.
Oh, wow.
I am not that skinny.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, it's reverse psychology. They want women to think, oh, I'm a size 6 now. It's like, I am not a size 6. I know I'm not.
Yeah, but see, men's are still just inches. So it's like,
I wish we were.
yeah, no,
Wow.
because that's still depressing as well. But I mean, but when you're looking at clothing, like you're saying, it's like the cuts. I mean, if you're a man and you have thighs, I have thighs. I don't have like little toothpicks that I'm standing on. Like I'm screwed because everything now has to be a slim cut or it's got to be this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I eat bread. Like it's okay to have thighs, you know.
I like bread.
Yeah.
I like bread. I make bread, so yeah.
Yeah. But I think this also comes down to, you know, it's also a quality factor, which we were talking about earlier, is that like clothes aren't really being made to last.
No.
No, they want you to purchase because that's right. I mean, today, what the fashion industry is a billion trillion dollar industry. Your goal is for you to consume. And the only way for you to consume is to get things that you can't get after. They don't want you to be like, hey, the cargo pants, you can't get them anywhere else and everybody wants them. You can't get it. I'm sorry. So it's that fact of the fear of missing out, FOMO. That's what they want.
Yeah.
And so you have to be strong enough to figure out, I'm not going to be like that. And it's also education. Coming down to, you know, do you really need that piece? And is it really going to last? But it's a constant conversation that even I have to do on social media. It's like, do you really need that piece? And fashion and style is different. Fashion is just purchase, purchase, purchase. Style is how you're going to walk with that piece.
Yep.
You know,
it really is about
that's a good explanation.
And I think, you know, and you invest in the long-term pieces. Like you invest in the pants, you invest in, I mean, shoes are another issue. Don't even get me started on that because I don't think no matter what you spend, they're made to last. Like my soles on my shoes always fall apart. It's a pain in the butt, but whatever. But I mean, it's like, you know, your pants, your coats, I mean, your sweaters, it's the things that are meant to be seasoned, really last a long time. T-shirts, fine, whatever. You know, try not to do the polyesters that are just going to end up in the landfill and fall apart. And if it's something that you're not going to wear more, donate it. Let it go, you know, either give it to somebody else, pass it down to family. If you've got somebody who's got like the kids, pass it down to the next size or somebody else, or donate it to an organization that's going to turn around and sell it and then take that profit and give it back to the community. Don't just throw it away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I think that we lose track of all these things because unfortunately shit falls apart. You know,
and it does. Now there's also what you can do, which is something that people tend to do. I'm not really into it, but it is something here in the UK where you can lend your pieces. So you purchase it, so you rent the clothes.
I've seen that happen also.
Yeah, so you can do that. I have a hard now if it's, for example, to visualize and walk as if you have something because you want that Chanel bag, so you're ready to invest or whatever. It could be like a dress that you current middle brand that you really, really wanted is really good. My only thing is you're wearing somebody else's energy. As much as you clean it, as much as you wash it, like, you know, you're not taking my 𝒉𝒂𝒐 jacket. Like we're not, like nobody's taking it. It's Olivia's, and I'm assume I'll have it. It's just like I'll be.
But you know, I like that you use the word invest because that's really what this is about. It's about having your money go towards something better quality that's going to last.
Yeah.
So it really is an investment, mind you. They're expensive. So, you know, when you're trying to put food on the table and you're trying to do all that thing, all these different things. So you have to, like you said, you budget for the things that you know you're going to need down the road.
Budget. Yeah. I think people don't really talk about the fact that clothing and purchasing pieces is an investment. It's a luxury today to have. So, you know, there's no point showing off. I'd much rather, I think today it's very much like, oh, I've got this. Although lately, like I was talking about the carnival that we have here in the UK in the 70s and 1970s, their clothing was with clothes on. Now, today, the carnival is with no clothes. So
that's because of global warming. So you don't need
it's like less clothes is better. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. You have to invest and take care. I don't think a lot of people at the same time take care of the clothes. If they did, we would not be in the situation and not be purchasing. But
well, a lot of people feel that they have, you know, it's showing to your friends that I can have this brand. And a lot of young people put themselves heavily into debt.
Yeah.
And it's, again, keeping up with the Joneses, proving that you can have these things. And I think we need to have that mind shift of be unique, have your own style. It doesn't necessarily mean being a walking billboard of logos. Wear what makes you happy.
Yeah.
And makes you look good.
And take care of it.
Yeah. I think it's the generation of not taking care of their pieces, and just it's showing the brand instead of our personalities, because if we show the brand, we're part of something, which in reality is not true. But going back to the investment, I know when I was working for brands, you would take loans to purchase bags, like Balenciaga bags. At the time they had this, what was it? Which one brand was it? I can't remember. It doesn't come to my name, but there was a specific brand. Was it the Celine bag? And I can't remember how it looked like. But people would take loans to purchase the bag. And I'm talking about in France, because I know that's what people did. And so it comes to like, a bag is a bag, you're not going to really eat in it, nor are you going to sleep in it. So, let's use your money, like investing, property, network marketing, or whatever it is, but be smart. And I just don't think our generation has really been taught on how to be smart, but get easy money to purchase cars.
I wonder if that's a result of all the reality TV that started up in the late 80s. Yeah,
100%. I would. I mean, look, without naming, but the Kim Kardashians, like, they stopped their series with E, and I think they got bought by Disney. Hulu. I mean, they said they were going to stop it, and now they're continuing because people want to know what they're doing, because their lives are boring, and so they want to live into that fake world. Regardless, they're really good at business.
They are. I will never
brilliant.
Crushing
it. Brilliant. Yeah,
they are brilliant. Their mom has had so much. Like, I have nothing to say in terms of business. They work. My thing is just social media projecting things and snippets of lives, and people have an opinion on that, which makes the buzz, and people are just unhappy with social media. I mean, back in the day, all of us, even if I'm the youngest, I'm right out of all three, but we were having a great time, playing with our sticks, or, meeting up for skateboard events. We didn't have to think of, social media. We didn't have the thing of, oh, her life looks awesome, mine is shitty. And so,
but if I get that bag, mine'll be just like her.
Yeah, that's it. That is correct.
Because happiness, you can buy happiness, but that doesn't mean you're happy.
And I think this has always been in society. I really do believe that we've always had this mentality of keeping up with the Joneses. What the neighbors are doing, we need to be doing the same thing. But it's magnified under the social media lens because it's now in our hands.
Yeah, you can scroll. You don't like something, you keep on scrolling. There's no end to TikTok. There's no end to Facebook. There's no end to Instagram, because I will continue flowing, and your attention span is much less. So it's, get the deal now, because in a couple of hours.
That's true.
If you're on one website, say you're scrolling down the Facebook or Instagram rabbit hole, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that life looks so much better. If I had this, it'd be there. Okay, great. Now I can go over to ASOS, Amazon, H&M, wherever I can. I can buy the knockoff version for $5 and have it delivered to me in 24 hours. And then if I don't like it, I can now pay, I can just have it free return. Okay, well, let's look at the implications of what that happened. We've got the people who work being paid to build these things at a breakneck pace. Then we've got it shipping halfway around the world. Then we've got you trying it on at home. Chances are it's not going to fit. Then you're going to have it shipped back. Look at the long-term implications of what that one article of clothing did. And then chances are it's being thrown away because it's not going to be resold after that.
I was just about to say that. I was going to ask Olivia to clarify. So when people buy something online, it doesn't fit, it gets returned. It doesn't go back on the shelf. It gets into a landfill because they're not going to resell something that went out. I mean, that's my understanding.
Yeah, well, with some pieces now with COVID, like if they receive pieces, for example, Tom Ford, if you wear a piece and you return it, they will wash it and they will steam, like there's a whole process with it. So, high-end brands have that sort of, quality there. But if you're not shopping at Tom Ford or something else, I've got to stop saying literally because I always say that. I had a client, she ordered a skirt from a brand, the skirt looked as if somebody had already worn that piece.
Yeah.
So that's what they do. One, if there's not sold, for example, brands, when they do fashion shows, like Louis Vuitton or whatever, the pieces that are not taken into the showroom get burnt, or the stuff that has not been sold at the end of the year gets burnt in a location that you have no idea. You cannot go like Nike on an outlet and purchase the piece.
That's the high-end designer stuff. It's the stuff that, because they don't want those designs stolen,
to be copyrighted, etc. But at the same time, that's one of the reasons why.
Fast fashion is not. Like, normally that'll just get returned. It's either ending up in the
because they don't want to keep it on the shelf. They want you to use it. So if you're not going to use it, next person is going to use it, but they're not necessarily going to clean it. So you don't even really know if that's like an authentic piece that you have purchased or not, which is the downside of fashion. So I always try and go to people that can maybe use a couple of pieces that I have and make them their own. So I have a friend, I had a wax piece, and so she made that as a trench coat for me. So that can be something also. So you use your pieces that you haven't had for a while.
Oh, I like that. Repurposing. I like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of creative ways to do it. We don't discuss ways to do it. I mean, but you buy clothing.
We don't discuss, and people don't know. So I'm always having to, well, no, not as if I'm like the pioneer, but it's like, it's just explaining that does exist, but it's also understanding that not everybody is crafted in that. So there's also a small circle of people that can do that for you. And so, there's not much of a demand because it is also a price and it takes a lot of effort, but it's something that is a really good investment.
I see, that's just it. It's about investing. So say you're buying pieces that are not, even if they are cheap, whatever, get them tailored.
Yeah.
Follow the instructions on how to take care of them. Let them last longer. Maybe you're spending, instead of like, a $10 polo, which I'm wearing right now, you're buying the $25 or $30 one, but, or a shirt or anything like that. You can get it tailored. You can get it dry cleaned. It'll prolong the life of your clothing, so that way you're not having to keep replenishing these things. So it may seem like and I get it, it's a lot to spend $40 or $50 on a shirt right out the gate. I get that, because you're seeing the one next door that's $20. But that $20 is going to have to be replenished probably a lot faster than the $40 one if you take care of it properly. But again, it comes down to, you start looking at tailoring. Okay, I got to pay for that. I got to pay for the dry cleaning costs. So you start thinking about these things versus $20 every 2 or 3 months, $40 once, a couple bucks every month. So it's like,
it's budgeting, like understanding that maybe I can have this month, so I'm going to work and get this one. I'm going to reverse engineer, or find a way to, like, how can I flip what I have?
You have to find your personal balance.
Yeah. And it also sucks because, like, clothes now, they don't even have threads. Like, I mean, you're seeing so many things that they have that like plastic stitching.
Yes.
Iron on it. And I'm like, come on.
This is
just crap. It's just crap. But whatever.
Yeah. I have seen
also, going back to fast fashion, buying pieces that are brands don't necessarily mean that they're also good quality. So, there's also that, which I have a hard time, like, purchase a couple of pieces and I'm like, this is not great quality. So it's understanding, feeling the product, touching it, seeing if it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, and I started talking about shoes, like that one I'm not even going to get on. Like, seriously, soles, I always have crack, like right under like the ball of my foot. And I'm like, what the is up with this? Like, and I wear shoes to death. I do. I mean, but they last me like
it's an investment. You might as well walk in it.
but if I wear them a lot, I'm lucky if they last me 5 or 6 months. And I'll spend a couple $100 on those shoes, and they don't last. The soles are not made to last anymore.
Can you take them to a cobbler and just have the soles replaced?
Well, the problem is that generally by that point, because the interior is so broken in, that once you put the new sole on it, it hurts. And so it doesn't break, it doesn't walk right anymore. So again, you're spending, and I don't think a couple $100 for a pair of shoes, even $100 for a pair of shoes, is cheap. So you keep going through these things faster and faster. And I'm like, oh, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Yeah.
Well, quality has degraded. So, picking up where you guys are talking about fast fashion and things being made cheaply, I have noticed that some of the higher end brands have been skimping on quality. So when you brought up the plastic thread, 6 or 7 years ago, I was with my husband. We picked up a suit at Brooks Brothers. Mind you, it was the factory outlet, but it was Brooks Brothers, and the thread was plastic.
Wow.
And that's Brooks.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed when I was looking at it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's like it's just using that plastic iron-on hem tape in a lot of clothing now. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. And I
Yeah.
just know the working conditions that people are in to make this stuff. You know, what they're breathing in, the chemicals that they're breathing in, and then like about the delivery services. And it's
And the
creating,
hours that they're working.
yeah, and it's just creating this chain that I don't know how we're going to get out of. You know, it's a
Through
mental thing.
through this education outreach, letting people know, it's like maybe not, maybe hold back on over consuming and buy those 1 or 2 good pieces.
Yeah.
And then other people could follow suit, and then we can change. Little tiny baby steps.
Fingers crossed. And buy cotton.
Oh, you know how hard it is to find something 100% cotton anymore?
Next to impossible.
Yeah, next to impossible.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and it's like it's the education, but it's also this generation that needs to be taught like where to get the pieces, which requires other people. It's like one step at a time, but finding those army of influencers. Because I'll tell you this, I have one friend. She works in a fashion brand, so Nike, and her shoe collection, like, is so huge. She has more than, I think, 300 trainers, sneakers.
Oh my Lord.
And
one for
yes,
every day
she
of the week.
works for the brand. She loves it, but it's like and being also, it's also like running for money. She now is considered an influencer, has 1 million followers on TikTok. So brands now want to partner up with her. So it's a sort of ending cycle because partnered up with Pretty Little Things, you know, which made by kids somewhere else. So it's just a vicious cycle where I'm like, why would you not, as a human being, find brands that you are ethical and give back? But there's not enough of us. So somebody needs, I mean, there's not enough. It's going to start, starting with us 3. But it's not everybody is on board because, as you said, Joel, like people, I'll get the product next day, or I'll get it here in the UK. If you purchase something on ASOS, if you purchase in the morning, you can get it in the afternoon. And I'm sure you guys have that in the US.
We don't have that fast. Normally it's 24 hours.
Here, ASOS we have, yeah. We
have ASOS, but not like same day. Like that's
no, not same day, like 1 or 2.
No, you can get it the same day. So, and then you can return it if you don't like it. Depends on what it is. But yeah, and the thing is, like in London, you're expected to purchase because now we don't accept any more cash. We accept card. And so, yeah, that goes on to, you know, purchase, card debts or repay. So,
yeah, that's where the debt comes in. And I have a huge issue with that. But we shall wrap it up. Again, Olivia, we love you.
I love you.
Your energy is just, it's intoxicating. And it makes my morning. I'm just ready. I'm set for the day.
So, let's go.
On that, we thank you. Talking about fast fashion, guys. End of story. Just buy less. You don't need all the stuff you think you need. You don't need to be a walking billboard for another company. Be yourself. Wear what makes you happy. And
look at quality. Look at quality. Look at the companies you're buying from. You know.
Look at the companies you're buying from. Make sure that they're doing, you know, the right thing.
And you're happy to promote them. You're happy to wear their pieces and that make you look and feel good. I think that's also the message is be intentional about what you're wearing.
Be intentional about what you're wearing. I like that.
Yes.
Be present. So on that, guys, take care. We will talk to y'all soon and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.